Hello, everybody. Josh Neighbors here, Locked On Nationals podcast. Today, it is the 24th of June, 2022. Happy Friday to you out there. Hope you guys are having a good start to your weekend. Today's show is brought to you by Blue Nile and BlueNile.com. For the best in jewelry for that special someone, go to Blue Nile today. On the show, we'll be previewing the upcoming series for the Nationals against the Texas Rangers, looking back on what really was a game and a half for the Nationals and the Orioles as they split in the Beltway. I'll tell you guys about my experience. I went to Truist Park, so I want to talk about that. Other ballparks in National League East, my first time going there. And also, we'll touch on an article I saw today, best position players on the trade market from The Athletic, and a certain Washington National. Two of them actually were in that top 12 list. So we'll touch on that as well. A whole lot to get to on today's show.
Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, hello everybody, Josh Neighbors here, Locked On Nationals podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at LO_Nationals. You guys can find me at Josh Neighbors _. Once again, hope you guys are having a good start to the weekend. Excuse me. So the Nationals, wow, dying over here. All right, so the Nationals at this moment in time, as we always do, we start with giving you guys the situation. Nationals are 25-47. They're 20 and a half games out of first place. They're 16 and a half back of the Braves, who continue to play really well. They are 12 and a half back of the Phillies. They are, 9 back of the Marlins. They're 12-26 at home, 13-21 on the road. They have a minus 113 run differential, which is the worst in all of baseball right now. They've lost one game in the current streak, and they're 2-8 in their last 10 games. They did get a series split with the Orioles, which we'll be talking about here on the show. Let's start with that first game. Nationals win 3-0 over Baltimore. And just coming into the series, and we saw it, we saw it from both the guys that we're going to talk about here, but, something big here, and our friend Matt Wyrick wrote about it. Adley Rutschman and Keibert Ruiz, right? Two really high top prospects for two rebuilding teams, both playing the premium position of catcher. And I know Adley Rutschman did off to the best start ever, but he's so young, and he's going to keep getting better, just 24 years of age right now. On the other side, Keibert Ruiz off to a little bit better of a start. He is just 23 years old, but they're both born in 94. So really, kind of born same year, roughly the same. And for these two these two guys, presenting hope and being kind of the next generation, or what they think will be the next generation of, players will hold it down, I guess you could say. And we've seen lately, that catcher position, whether it be how much JT Realmuto got, how much a guy like James McCann got, the investments being made in the draft for guys like Adley Rutschman and Henry Davis, Keibert Ruiz being valued as a big time asset as well. It's that position is so important. We talk about it a lot on here, but the ability to manage a staff, get to know all the pitchers. Obviously, get some help too with PitchCom, and you have a card helps guys, and you get to know them pretty well. But you have to run a staff, you got to run a bullpen, you got to maintain those relationships, you got to play good defense, you've got to hit as well. And both these guys, really seem like they're on a crash or collision course, in the Beltway. Not to be compared to, but kind of, well, I'm not sure collision course is the right word. Maybe they're kind of on a intertwined path to be these two-star players. Really, I think Adley is the one who's a bit more well-known to the American audiences because of kind of where he was drafted, and he's got, the kind of white eye thing going on. And Keibert Ruiz, obviously not coming from that traditional background, so he's just lesser known. Like more people know who Adley Rutschman is than Keibert Ruiz. Now, Keibert Ruiz, in terms of a player, I'll be honest with y'all right now, he looks like the total package. Like, maybe we'll see what Adley does. And I think people think both sides of the ball, he'll be awesome. But so far, like K-Barrett looks like at already this age, think about this. He's 23 right now. Like 3 years, he's going to be 26. He's on track, in my opinion, to maybe be the better all-around player if the signs are there. Or maybe, how about this? It'd take him less time to become that all-around catcher than it will for a guy like an Adley Rutschman. But, Adley is in position to be the face of the franchise. K-Barrett's not, because there's guys there like Juan Soto who's already in the building. So kind of different paths, but still, I think in terms of quality, good chance these guys end up intertwined. As for the series itself, the first game, let's go there. Erick Fedde, man, awesome. This is maybe the best game, one of the best, two or three best games all year. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks, throws 97 pitches, 7 groundouts, 4 fly balls. And, this for him was a game I think he needed to have, because he's been pitching okay. Has had that run. The Mets game got crushed in, got roughed up a little bit by the Reds. Didn't make it through 5 there. 5 2/3, 3 runs allowed against Milwaukee is fine. The Braves game, 3 runs through 5 1/3 is fine. This was a really strong outing for him. Everything was in command. Cutter, elevating 2-seamers and 3-2 counts. Love the way he looked in this game, in control. Reminded me kind of that Dodgers game that he had, where he was 6 innings, 4 hits, 6 Ks, 1 walk, 90 pitches. Just this was a really strong outing for Erick Fedde. And one of those they continue to need to see if he's going to up his trade value. And also, I think for his future in Major League Baseball, I think he's done a strong job this year of saying, I can be a back end of the rotation guy. And also, guys will always need people like Erick Fedde. I think he's going to be fine in terms of getting a spot moving forward. And finding pitchers who've just been around, who are kind of solid, who can go out there every 5 days, which made 27 starts last year, has made 14 of 14 this year. Has given the Nationals so far on the season 68 2/3 innings, and he's approaching 400 innings on his career. His next start, if he goes at least 4 innings, he'll be at 400 on his career in the at least for regular season pitching. I'm not sure if they have postseason included here, but this guy, 4 at least regular season innings. Or innings, so I'm trying to figure out what it is now. But still, been around for a while. His value is there. Strong starts like this will only up that trade value. And I have to say, too, timely offense. The Nationals scored in a weird variety of ways in this game. They get Nelson Cruz doubling down line, which was pretty standard, obviously, for scoring. But then they get the ground out that scores a run. And then you get a Lane Thomas opposite field home run. I encourage you guys to go back and listen to Matt Wyrick and I talking about Lane Thomas on the Wednesday show. We heard from Mike Rizzo saying, hey, this guy's going to be a part of what we're doing moving forward. And so that was obviously really encouraging to see. There's something like the variety for him, hit him first, hit him 8th, hit him 9th. I think he gives them a lot. So that 3-0 win, timely hitting, and obviously the guys that deserve some credit too are the bullpen. Kyle Finnegan, Carl Edwards, and Tanner Rainey have all had their, shaky moments, if you will. No, not in this game. All those guys were solid. Last 3 innings of work, 2 hits allowed, no walks allowed, and 6 Ks between those 3 guys. 10th hold of the year, Finnegan. 4th of the year for Carl Edwards. And then Tanner Rainey comes in and gets save number 8 on the year. Second game, not going to spend too much on. This was a 7-0 game that saw one Austin Hayes hit for the cycle, and he did so in relatively short order. He got this thing done getting it done by the 6th inning is really impressive, and did a lot of the work against Patrick Corbin. And he was just red hot in that game. 26 years old, he's a really good player, and so for him to go for that cycle, and he's having a great year too, hitting 287, 347 on base, 42 slugging. Really strong year for him. For him to go out there and perform the way he did. Top of the lineup was nasty for them. 3 guys at the top between Hayes, Mancini, and Santander. 8 hits between those guys. 6 RBIs between all of them. Mountcastle added the last one. Another rough outing for Patrick Corbin. 4 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, and 6 Ks, 2 homers allowed, 86 pitches. Steve Cishek gets absolutely pounded this game, 2/3 of innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned. Give up a home run as well. And Andres Machado pitched, but the game was it finished out the inning, but the game gets suspended and into the 7th here. 7-0 win. Did not appear like the Nationals were going to mount much of a comeback in that game. All right, quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll look ahead to the series against the Texas Rangers. Today's show is brought to you by Blue Nile. Go to BlueNile.com today to find that perfect something for that special someone. They've got fine jewelry that's well-sourced. Make your moments sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com, and Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off a $500 purchase or more. This is a podcast exclusive that includes engagement rings as well. Use code Locked On, that's LOCKEDON, Locked On. Once again, promo code Locked On. Plus, every order is insured, it ships free, and arrives in that discreet package so that person will not know what it is you're sending. Shop stress-free and find your forever peace. Go to BlueNile.com today. Also, today's show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline and BetOnline.net is the best place to bet on all of your Major League Baseball action during the season. It's your number one source for all your betting needs and sports info, developments, league reviews, news, including this year's NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball as well, UFC, NASCAR, boxing, all of it at BetOnline and BetOnline.net. Today, it remains the best place for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. All right, so the Washington Nationals this weekend have a 3-game set against the Texas Rangers, and they will head to Globe Life Field to play against the Rangers. Always exciting. You love to see these interleague series. They mix kind of divisions and whatnot. The Rangers are 33-35. They are 16-18 at home. It's good enough, the record right now, for second in the American League West due to how bad things have been for the Angels, who are now at 34-38, 10.5 back. The Rangers are 9.5 games back of the Astros. Astros lost last night to the Yankees, but they looked really good against the Mets, and they've looked strong this year. The Astros have both home and on the road. The Rangers, what do you have to know about this team? Obviously, some acquisitions that were pretty big for them in the offseason. Marcus Semien has come on, and also Corey Seager as well, the 2 guys that they brought in. They haven't had awesome starts to the year, but those are the 2 guys that we are, everybody's really talking about coming in for them. Now, there's some questions about who's going to be doing the pitching for them this weekend. Right now, at least the first game, and this first game is scheduled for 8:05 tonight. Paulo Espino going up against Dane Dunning. That's probably like the one that we know for sure is going to happen. Josiah Gray tomorrow, 4:05 on FS1, so a nationally televised game for the Nationals. Enjoy that, folks. We don't get a ton of those in Nats land right now. 4:05, first pitch, Josiah Gray. Not sure who's going to pitch that the next game, or that game, for the, and then 2:35 on Sunday, Jackson Tetrio goes for the Nationals, and he will face right now. He's scheduled to face Glenn Otto, but he's out right now. He rejoined the Rangers Wednesday and will likely be activated the COVID-19 injured list for Sunday's game, so they do think he is going to pitch. But right now, not seeing a probable starter for Saturday. Once again, 8:05, 4:05, and 2:35 are your respective game times. All right, one more quick word from our sponsors, and I want to share my experiences from Globe Life Field. Today's show is brought to you all by LinkedIn. Folks, if you guys are not on LinkedIn, you need to. So many people are on LinkedIn. It's the best place to find jobs. I've used it before. The sun's coming back out after COVID-19. Small businesses back. LinkedIn Jobs makes it easier to grow your team. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the people you want to interview faster and for free. All right, so you guys go to LinkedIn Jobs. It's going to help you find the candidates you need faster. Every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. You can post your job free at linkedin.com/lockedonmlb. That's linkedin.com/lockedonmlb. linkedin.com/lockedonmlb to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, folks. So I went to a couple Braves games at Truist Park. I went to the game on Wednesday night. My cousin and I went yesterday with my friend Cole. Sat up in the 300s on the Wednesday night game. And the Thursday game, day game, we decided to splurge all-inclusive tickets, like $100. And I had not done that before. And so I was really intrigued and kind of excited to go and do that. And I don't get to go to a ton of games. Number one, I live in Richmond. Normally, I'm just visiting some folks in Atlanta right now. But living in Richmond, we have the Richmond Flying Squirrels, AA team for the San Francisco Giants. I do go to Nats games, but right now for me, it's 2 hours away. I'm moving back to D.C. in July, so it'll be closer at that point in time. But Nats games, I get to go to a decent amount of them, but had not been to Truist Park before. I will say this, a couple things. It's a nice ballpark. It's a newer ballpark, obviously. It's a nice ballpark. Give them that. It's in a tough area to get to. Like, the thing that's nice about Nats Park is actually driving to it isn't as hard as people make it out to be, and there's ways to kind of get out of there pretty easily. Truist Park, getting to it and parking near it, it's kind of almost up on a hill in a way, it can be challenging, it can be difficult. It's not an easy place to access. I will say this, the Battery, the place outside the stadium, people, it's corporate, it's kind of what it is, but a lot of different bars and restaurants and places to go before the game, after the game, to enjoy yourself. So I think that is something that is good. People like the ballpark, in a way, to me feels a little cramped. The one thing I love about Nats Park is the way it kind of opens up at the end of it. The way it kind of it opens up nicely onto the street. And I really kind of do like that about Nats Park. Game. The one thing, obviously, this is helping in Atlanta, man. It is so freaking hot in Atlanta, you would not even believe it. Yesterday, luckily for us, we go down to the club level. We weren't like given those tickets. We decided to go out there and pay $120 for them. But it was really nice, the all-inclusive. If you guys ever feel like doing that, something I definitely encourage doing. Just a fun time to be able to, if it's a really hot day, go inside. But the food was really good. Nothing better than the line of Kugels at the ballpark. I would say this, though. The one place I have not been to in the National League East is Marlins Park. I would say my favorite, number one, is Citi Field. I think it's a place to see the ball game. I think the area just around it isn't developed enough. Number two, I'd put Nats Park. Three, I'd put Citi Field. And four, I'd put Truist. I don't think they're bad ballparks at all. Camden Yards is kind of my favorite ballpark, so that's kind of where I am. That tells you about my preferences. Camden Yards guy. So, I think that's where I'd rank them. I think Marlins Park ended up being 5, but hey, I went and saw some more games elsewhere, I'd feel differently. But yeah, maybe I'd slide Truist in front of Citizens Bank. I haven't been to Citizens Bank in probably 5 or 6 years. So yeah, I think I would go right now 1 Citi Field, 2 Nats Park, 3 Citizens Bank, 4 Truist, and then Marlins Park, I'm just assuming would be 5. Hell, who knows? Maybe I'd love Marlins Park. Who knows? We really don't know. All right, that will kind of do it for today's show. Next week, we're going to talk about this article from The Athletic. They ranked the top 12 guys who are, position players up for trade. This article came from Jim Bowden over there. He ranked Josh Bell number 2 and put Nelson Cruz at number 11. So 2 guys we've talked about potentially being on the move, that potential for them to be on the move. Obviously, we'll have a recap of this series. And also, one thing I want to encourage you all to do is send me questions, send me comments here in the video. Also, you guys can send them on Twitter as well. I want to answer those during the show, just to get some fan interaction, because I feel like the season, as it drags on, your all's input would be great for what I can do to make this show a little bit better as we head towards the dog days of the baseball season. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at LO_Nationals. Follow me at JoshNeighbors_. Find the show wherever you get your podcast. and it is on YouTube as well. All right, that will do it. Till next time, my friends, as always, stay safe.